And you see, when I was with Pat and with Burnsy, we're in the playoffs, and we went to the conference final each time. We went twice with both coaches. Burnsy would say to me, Willie, we need at least 8 defensemen. Pat would say, we need 8 or 9 defensemen. You know how many Chicago have? They have 4. And they've got 2 that are disguised as defensemen.
Yeah, so Stevenon doesn't even play.
Yeah, they're 3 short.
Yeah.
And that doesn't appear to be wearing on them. It does not appear.
Yeah, I have no idea how Duncan Keith can play 32 minutes a game. And
I was just going to tell you, I love that.
I
think that guy's very... You know, if I was skating down the ice and I'm going into the Chicago zone with Duncan Keith waiting for me, I would be worried.
Have you ever had your VO2 done? That measure of how you transfer oxygen into your blood, it's a very important fitness measurement. And I used to be completely dumbfounded when Dougie Gilmore would come to camp and clock a VO2 of 63, 64 in there. And Dougie used to run hills all summer to build up that high score. Duncan Keith, at the age of 19 at Michigan State, had a VO2 of 73.
Wow.
That's why he can skate all night. He is as fit as you can be. And no secret about Duncan Keith, he could play 40 minutes if you want him to. And it's not luck.
And that's why those games where Chicago goes to triple. I mean, Chicago's had 2 triple overtime games, and I think Keith had played 45 to 50 minutes in those games, and everyone's sitting there looking at the stat sheet, wondering, how is this possible? But that explains it, Bill, because that's just not normal for an NHL player to do.
Well, 73 is not normal either. I mean, that's an abnormally high VO2, and it's you're superbly fit at that level. You can play all night. And I heard it the other day on the radio. I think it was on NHL Today yesterday. I heard this about the 73, and having some familiarity with it when I was in management, because Larry Murphy would come in with a VO2 of 48. 48. And we'd die. But he's a Hall of Famer.
So explain to me, because I don't know a lot about it. When you say Larry Murphy's is a 48, what does that mean?
Well, that means that his score, his efficiency of transferring the oxygen he takes into his lungs, into his blood, is 48. The score, I don't know whether that's 48% efficiency.
Okay.
I'm not sure of that. I have the score, and I know what the process is. And the higher your score, the more efficient you are at getting your oxygen into your blood and sustaining your ability to go all day.
So what's the type of score that is something that an NHL player would strive for?
Oh, I would think in the high 50s.
Okay. So Larry Murphy,
that would be the top half of the club.
Okay, so Larry Murphy, when he was in Toronto, we all know the story. He was obviously booed out of town. Goes to Detroit, wins 2 cups. The reason why he was booed in Toronto was because of his foot speed. I mean, Larry Murphy was gifted offensively with the puck, but he was very slow. Did that have something to do with that low score?
Oh, yeah, well, of course.
Okay.
Because he had to play at a certain rate because he couldn't get he couldn't get the efficiency of his heart rate to transfer oxygen into his blood system. And he was, there was only, when you can go at a rate of 73, you can go as hard as you want for as long as you want.
Well, if you're producing oxygen in your blood,
as hard as you want for a very limited...
You don't have to fight to breathe.
Yeah, that's right.
And what happens when you fight to breathe, you're creating carbon monoxide.
Yeah. Oh, no, you're completely breaking down the system.
That's correct. So what you said in the beginning of this conversation is the level of oxygen that's in the blood is very important to keep your stamina going.
Yes.
And if the lack of oxygen in the blood, you're gasping for air. That's why you see some of the guys, like after a 2-minute shift or less, or a half a minute shift, because if they're going like a bat out of hell, they're on the bench fighting to get oxygen inside.
Bill Kessel's score.
Oh yeah, no, it would be very low.
It would be very low.
And Chalmerson would be probably low 50s at best. He's always out of air.
Right.
And it'd be interesting to watch, if you get a chance, and I haven't since I heard it yesterday, is to watch Keith on the bench. Because is he ever exhausted? I would. I
never see him with his head down, breathing heavily, anything like that.
No.
He's in great shape.
Yeah.
He's got an incredible amount, guys. An incredible amount of, I wouldn't say aggressiveness. He's very competitive. I think he's the most competitive guy on that team, and that team is very competitive. So that's saying quite a bit about him.